Thought Media Network is proud to present Cosmic Prayers, your weekly shift, Mondays at 11 Mountain Time, with your host, Laura Topper. The Cosmic Prayers, live from the UK. And now, here she is, Laura Topper.
Hi, and welcome to the Cosmic Prayer. Just adjusting my camera there. Welcome in. It's so great to be here. Another Monday. The weeks are going by, and every week here on the Cosmic Prayer, I invite a super guest, somebody that inspires me and that I know inspires many others on this beautiful planet. And this week is no exception, because we have here, right here and now, somebody so amazing. Her energy, her light, I could feel as she came on backstage with me and Diego, we could really feel her presence and her light and radiance illuminating through. And I just feel so excited to be welcoming on our guest this week. Described as a prophet and mystic of our time. Oh yes, a visionary, a difference maker, and a global spiritual leader, a senior minister, amongst many other things, senior minister and spiritual leader for First Unity Spiritual Campus in Florida. And that campus is so, it's incredible, that spiritual ministry, as it's described on the website, as more than a ministry and an intentional movement and an international movement of radical possibility and positivity, possibility. And so this is time, for us here on the Cosmic Prayer to really honor our super guest, Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, for being here and saying yes and wanting to inspire and share her thoughts, her knowing, her wisdom on what prayer really means for her and for her community. Welcome, Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes. Welcome here to the Cosmic Prayer.
Thank you. And speaking of which, what a name you've either chosen or elected, Topper. That means you're like always the vibration of the top, right? I mean, it's a privilege to be with you. As you were describing me, I thought, gosh, could you just go on the road with me?
Anytime.
So good. Thank you. I'm very humbled. And so ecstatic that you're talking about my favorite subject, because prayer, like God, like creation, however you name creation, the most important thing for humanity and for nature is that it remain organic and it continue to change. And one of the things that we see now with the appearance and the reality of division, good and bad, die, live, dark, light, all these things, is that we're calling forth the awareness that many people have not allowed the word prayer to really evolve and to change. It's kind of like, eating Gerber baby food, and that's what your parents gave you, or something mashed up, and now you're still 50 and 60 and you're eating mashed up food. You know what I mean? It's like, who would do that? But that's, some people heard one time, well, and it's interesting, just discerning of how people sit with prayer. It's like, and they go, well, I don't want to do it wrong. So,
yes.
Right? So one of the first things we want to realize is that we were trained early on to be respectful and be honoring with parents, guardians, and people. And so we were trained that, here's the thing, you need to ask mommy the right way or you won't get your popsicle. You need to say please, you need to say thank you. So there's a part of us on one level that we wonder, are we asking correctly? Is there something greater than us listening? Yes. And did I say it right? Well, prayer, you can say, I'm ready, and that's a prayer.
Yes, I love that.
I'm ready.
I love that. And what I'm hearing from you, because I love the way that you've opened this. You're taking away, you're giving permission.
Yes.
That however, for me, it's about what I'm hearing is that if our intention is right, if our intention is set, then the prayer follows from that. It's like the prayer is the effect, really. There's something that goes before the words that come out of our mouths and the feeling. And you're right, too many of us are worried about, have I said it properly? Will it work? Is there anybody listening? And yet we know we're changing our own consciousness when we're praying. There's nothing out there that we're having to convince, is there?
No, and it's really not about prayer. Did I pray right? It's more about, do I trust right? It's more about trust. It's about believing that you are so significant and so worthy and so called and so sent here that absolutely what you pray into, what you invoke, what you call into, that yes, the universe is moving and rushing to meet thee, as we would say in some of our teachings. So prayer is, there's no right or wrong way. The energy needs to go more into, do I really trust that it's always a yes, and it's really up to my eyes and my heart to see it and be open and in that space. So that's another component. The other element of prayer is you don't pray into this new you, what you're letting go of the past you. So you pray into where you're headed. Even if you don't know, you go, I now declare this new, vibrant, mystical life of mine with a new relationship with people that are joyful and really love life. I'm calling that in. And so I'm giving this directive. So prayer is directive. Another word for God is good, orderly direction. So I'm giving a directive. So I wouldn't want to get on there and go, oh, dear mercy, please, just support me in being a happy alcoholic. No, it would be, universe, here I am. And I now declare, I affirm, I am healthy, I am vibrant, and I long for no addiction. I step into a greater space of knowing that I am enough. But the other part, Laura, is, and this is the part that is radical. When we pray, we are acting as if we have come up with this idea and we're giving it to universal law, and the universal law might even be surprised about what we're asking. And then we're wondering if we're being heard, and then we're working on our trust. When we are praying into what I believe, and we're saying, here I am now affirming to be younger than ever. I'm claiming my sexy 60 size, blah, blah, blah. My prayer is not new. My prayer is saying to the universe, I have heard your download, and I'm letting you know I am in total agreement to it occurring in my life. Do you see that?
I love what you've just said.
Right? Do you see that? I told you. Right? Do you see that?
Yes, it's an agreement. It's an agreement. Yeah. Oh, my whole body is now like, because too often, I mean, we're all, a part of this myth, aren't we? Of the kind of lie that we have to somehow be something special to accept what we truly desire for our lives, because there's this fallacy, there's this false information that we've taken on, that we're not worthy, or that we're not enough, or that there isn't enough. You know, all of these kind of belief structures that we've agreed to. We've agreed to that. And what I was feeling recently is it must take just as much energy to be putting ourselves into that. Why though? Why do we choose to be drawn to believing and agree, you know, have our sacred agreement with that? And that becomes like the navigator for our lives. Why do we do that when through prayer we're making, as you're saying it's an agreement, it's like another new fresh way of being, and we can agree to that? Why do we find it so hard to make that switch?
Well, giving ourselves credit, especially in my generation, and others, we've been bots trained. What is they say, if people say, what's the difference between spirituality and religiosity, then it's a photo or a poster I saw one time that religion is an aquarium and you're in it as a fish. Spirituality is an aquarium and you're on the outside of the aquarium. and so giving us credit, we have focused so much in our society, at least here, and that's the one I've lived in for the majority of the time. I've traveled to other countries, but the majority of the time I've been in America. And so we have been, since day one, we focus on the mind. We focus on a dated educational system that doesn't teach practical tools, but teaches you, fill your mind with this information, and then you're going to take a test at the end and you're going to learn how to cut up a frog. And then we hope you're ready for life. So we've been programmed from the very beginning. It's like some wise person said, a child starts out as a question mark. Why? What does this matter? I don't understand. And when they graduate from education, they're a period. I can't do this because of period. This won't happen because of period. Well, based upon what I've chosen sexually and in my life and how I feel about my parents, that higher power is never going to listen to me. We're programmed. And when you've heard that for 12 years in education and you've listened to this kind of dynamic, let's give ourselves a lot of love. I mean, we've been programmed. And so we put way too much energy on the mind and what the SAT score is, and I laugh and I go, I've never been hired for a job based on my SAT score. I mean, it's insane. We have little kids carrying duffel bags and 14 books in each arm. I got to make a good grade on my SAT score, SAT. Well, even on Max.com, they don't say, I've never been on there, but I mean, they wouldn't say, what was your SAT score? I need to know what your SAT score is. Nobody's ever asked me that question.
Yeah.
And SAT is soul activating truth. So activating truth. So what we know, what I feel, what we know continues to create more of what we know. And we just get inundated with it. Oh, I'm going to go to a workshop, one more workshop, and I'm going to solidify what I know. Because, I know this stuff, I know, and I just keep knowing, and I've been there and I've done that, and I keep knowing. What we know continues to create more of what we have. It is the heart that creates the longing of the emerging self. It is the heart. Yes. It is not the head.
The mind. Yes.
Exactly. So where we are coming from, and this is why the element of cosmic prayer is so important. Prayer longs for the soul, the SAT, the soul to activate the truth. Prayer is you're alone and you're with this cosmic universe and you can say whatever you want. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to tell you you can't. And you say what it is, and the universe, it's up to the universe to lay out the hand,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So when I think of prayer, it's not a right way or a wrong way. It's just there's no wrong way to pray. Even if you say, I've had enough. I mean, how many people do we know we're in relationships? They go, I've had enough. And the next thing you know, the door's open, or you walk in and your partner goes, you know what? I don't want to be with you anymore. And you go, I didn't feel you did. You know? Right? So it's the wrong way to pray. But it's, how do you really feel? Because it works for you. There's no one size fits all. So what I came to realize in that mysticism is that it's like, have you ever had like the biggest secret ever, and it was beautiful and it was rich and it made you feel younger, and you thought, I gotta tell this person, and it had this energy because you're bursting at the seams and you have no idea how it's going to be received and what they're going to think and all of that, and all this is, well, that's how a lot of people, I feel, and that I've taught for 30 years, they feel about prayer. Oh, well, I'm not sure, maybe the universe, maybe this isn't for me, whatever. And they get into the law, questioning the law, where the law is always working. It's billions of years old. So where we come back is like I said, when I say, this is my prayer, I'm not saying something like I would say to my bestie as a secret for the first time, oh, by the way, I'm gay. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, I have heard you. In these last few days, beloved spirit, I have been hearing the messages. I've been listening to the messages. I've been seeing the signs, and I'm praying now and letting you know that I'm a yes. I'm here, I'm awake, and I will be attentive to something that you've already put in my heart, almost like a tattoo, so I wouldn't miss it. And then it's in that space when the lack of listening is present, when there's the doubt, when there's, well, this would require too much of me and I'm not going to do it. That's where deep pain, struggle, the lack of understanding of a greater truth of what we are and what we have,
Yeah, I love everything you're saying, and how personable this process is, how personal this or this commitment that we make to to a prayerful life.
Right.
And I really like what you said at the very beginning about the fish tank and the religion, the religion that being inside the fish tank and spirituality being outside, where we have that greater view and greater vision. Where we can see it from so many different perspectives, and when we're in it, we can't always see it for ourselves. And that's not only about religion, is it? Because that's ourselves. It often takes somebody, or it can take somebody outside of us to remind us, just as you're doing right now, to shake us and wake us and remind us of who we truly are, because we are kind of the in and the out of our own fish tank, looking at ourselves and I'm just, I love everything you're saying, and it's a very evolved, I feel a very evolved awareness to prayer. And obviously you have taken time to cultivate and come to your own understanding of what prayer means as a spiritual leader and as a teacher, and as the holding space for an amazing community where you are at First Unity Campus. Having taught so many, practitioners and ministers and people through classes and through this teaching of unity and science of mind, and you understand because you've put so much of yourself you've devoted yourself to this, and you're a light. I mean, I can feel your radiance is just like it's amazing. I'm picking up from you and feeling, and how prayer can be the way that we can choose our lives by. That's what I'm really interested in, is where we get sidetracked and start kind of feeding off of the effect, where if we take time to come back to that agreement.
Yes.
That's such a beautiful way of saying it. And do you think for somebody new that's watching now that they could just start? How would you say if somebody came to you that has never used spiritual mind treatment before, or our way of praying where we're not begging and beseeching, how would you guide that person? There may be someone viewing right now.
well, people that come to me and say, I've never been to a spiritual community before, and I've never been in religion, and I've never read any books. I go, good for you. You're so much ahead of so many people, because you don't have to unlearn. You don't have to unlearn. You don't have to forget some of this stuff that is no longer appropriate. We're very interesting in our human suit. Now, for the people listening, because the majority, at least the ones that are leaving comments, I don't know you. So what you need to know is you're talking with a woman today that took 48 hours to be born, got the calling at 5 in a Southern Baptist community, discounted by my family at 13 as being gay, drank myself almost to death for the following 15 years, was in jail twice, knew that God was for me, knew that I was loved, because I never lost sight of the nature part. And so I could think about a dog, one would show up in the yard. I could think about help, and a bird would fly, and I felt a communication there. So the biggest word for God to me, and I'm not the only one that has spoken that, the biggest word, how you spell God, is Nature, nature. And for us to talk about oneness and connection, we're living in a magical kingdom. I mean, for us, we need amusement parks, we need to spend money, we need to buy tickets. I'm not making that wrong or anything. I'm just saying we need to be entertained, and we need to be enlightened, and all that kind of stuff. But the truth of the matter is, it is all there, and it's all free. And see, that's part of the issue, because we live in a money govern. I love money. It takes money to live. It takes money to be. We need it. You need money to rescue an animal. It's like $125 just getting their shots and all that. But we are upside down through our programming. Somebody told us, the teacher told us, the preacher told us, or somebody told us, or our parents told us. But here's what they told us. They told us what they knew.
Yeah.
Very few children are raised in saying, tell me what you know. You've brought in the new evolution of humanity. I want to talk to you. We have it backwards. We have people that aren't even that happy. I want you to do it the way I did, so you'll be like me. Oh my God, please go take a rest. Do a timeout, And so it's like, it's the emerging of spirit. And in this way is that in oneness, we cannot disconnect from nature. And, oh, you're a bird, I'm going to put up a fence to keep you out of my way. Oh, you're chameleons, and I don't know who you are or what you're about. So I'm going to get somebody to come over and spray so I don't have to deal with you. It's pathetic. We're all connected. Everything is a medicine. We are, the Native Americans knew that everything is connected. And we are programmed that these are the things you focus on. And so, because these are the things we focus on, we keep getting what we keep getting, what we keep knowing, and aren't we impressive? And it isn't, how do I say this in a way of not implying that I am thrilled about what's going on now. However, we are called to a deepening of a timeout. And that is what prayer offers. 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. It's a I'm out. And if any of you question it, wherever you are, and as long as you're not driving and listening to Facebook, if you close your eyes and you just, I invoke now the sacred spirit of all life. I bring it in every cell and fiber of my being, the great spirit that is connected to all that ever is and ever will be. I connect to that. Well, when I do that in my natural energy field and I activate my chakras, which is electricity, and in that moment, then wherever I was the minute prior to that has already shifted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're interrupting, aren't we, when we pray? We're interrupting the status quo and restating it with our new agreement, or with the same agreement, but it's another stating of the agreement.
Yes.
And I love it that you are a shamanic teacher and you bring this into your work as well, and you bring this into your ministering as a shamanic healer and teacher and guide. And that you're talking about nature, of course, you know, we're in the midst of it. We're living in nature. We can't deny that.
Right.
But yes, money and finances is what keeps us. We need that though, don't we? And often my prayers are for prosperity and for greater flow of receiving. You picked that up on my email. I spelled it incorrectly. But for all of us right now, we're going through something. I mean, each of us are going through something right now, you know, whether it's health or family or world situation, COVID, you know, money, prosperity. And yet when we're praying, we're stating the truth, aren't we? What is that truth?
Yes.
What is that truth, Reverend Temple?
Well, to me, it's like Meister Eckhart said, that spirituality isn't necessarily about adding more things. Yeah. What we want to do is we want to release. It's like Alvin Toffler, I believe that's the way to pronunciate his last name. He said that the 21st century isn't about the people that are learned. The 21st century belongs to the unlearned.
Yeah.
Okay. Belongs to the unlearned. So for me, the unraveling has been to question, what is my narrative? How do I speak it? And what do I say? And to, not as a constant thing, but likened to what someone said, when I hear criticism, that's not my inner voice. Oh no, not a soul that's been here lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That's not my inner voice. My inner voice is one of guidance. My inner voice is pick up the phone and, you know, call Margaret today. I'm, you know, being telepathic, or, you know, my inner guidance is saying, yes, I'm so looking forward to being with Laura Topper today. That's my inner. And so in that field of that consciousness, I have seen many times that things that come out of my mouth, because whatever we are speaking with the power of the I am, we may not call it the ritual of prayer, but as the song says, our thoughts are prayers and we are always praying. So I'm raised in the South. I'm sure you could tell from the get-go I'm bilingual. I speak English and Southern, right? And so I might say, oh yeah, let's do this project, and that way we could kill two birds with one stone. Oh my God, that just came out of my mouth. I'm vegan. I don't want to kill any bird. Do you know what I mean? But that's the way often, right? That we're communicating. I mean, we have unity and Science of Mind communities that go, oh, we're all one. Let's kumbaya. Let's do the peace song. When they as communities don't even know they're similar. That's messed up. That's insane. You understand that? And so it's the learning that, how do we say we love creation when we don't love what's created? Because somebody told us it's okay to destroy all these living things, and billions of them never make the table every year. And somebody just says that's okay because they're featured in a supermarket. are in a walk-through line, and it's okay that you waste because, oh, it's just okay. So it's a fundamental space of coming back to who am I? And who am I isn't an arrival place. Who am I is a beginning place. And it's like some of the great teachers of our time said, yesterday ended last night. Today's an empty eraser board, and what a dry erase board. So what do we put in that? Liken to the person that says, well, one person lives 100 years, another person lives 1 year 100 times, and so it's how will I be? It's like somebody comes up to me on Sunday morning and goes, I'm really looking forward to what you have to say. That's a very nice statement. Thank you. And I go, so am I. I'm curious to what's going to happen. And we must get out of the aquarium, because that's the level in which we will always operate. We are programmed. If you don't get your SAT, then you can measure yourself and sit in a boardroom and be up to par. If you don't start getting your medication, because you're going into your 40s, then this is going to happen to you, and this is going to happen to you, and this is going to happen to you. And if you start feeling a little bit off, then then we're going to give you some more drugs, and it's going to help you. I never thought in my lifetime that I could go somewhere and I could get a prescription written, and where I used to go to get the same stuff on the back roads, and I could have been arrested. But it's the programming continues, and now we have 24-hour imagery and news. And it started out years ago that we would have news, and it would be the 5 o'clock or the 7 o'clock. And then in the 11 o'clock, they would tell us the good things that happened because of what they found out at 5 and 7. Now we have like 3 or 4 stories running on every major network over and over and over and over and over and over and over. We are perfectly primed to be non-intelligent robotic people. Yes. You need to go line, because now we got the new thing, and you need to go wait in line. Well, you were told that when you were little. You had to go wait in line, and you had to get the SAT, and you had to wait in line, and then you had to go to college, and then you had to pay for that and wait in line, because you're not enough without it. And you can't generate within yourself your own immunity, your own awareness, your own being, because we program you. And it's pathetically sad. Now, I'm not saying that news isn't informative. It used to be. It used to be on the collective whole. It used to be that if somebody said 5 people were killed in Detroit, the news would say, but you have to realize how many tens of thousands and millions of people live there. And you have to, we don't get the big picture. We get fear, we get pride, we get drama, we get trauma, and that's our prayer. And what Americans aren't able to see is they're praying and regurgitating that fear over and over and over again, and that's their prayer. I need to do this so this won't happen. They told me I got to do this so that won't happen. I got to go get my boobs checked so that won't happen. And I got to go check this because that won't. Man, so where did we go? Who am I? This in-tune listening, that it fascinates me that we have all these people running around, spirituality and physics, and look at physics. Energy never dies. Oh, look, and we don't really die, and energy doesn't die. But even the people presenting it, they don't have any. It's bizarre. How can you teach about energy never dies, it never runs dry, and you don't have any? That's so sad. So and I say that not to judge or whatever. I don't care. I'm just simply saying, for me, it's like whatever I want to teach or I am teaching, I want someone to be able to see it in me somewhere. You understand, in the grocery line and
Yes.
something. But it's like, if we believe that life is energy, that God is energy, and that really it's all cellular and it's all energy, then why do so few people have any?
Yes.
That's so we are coming to a stop sign in our lives of a reassessment. How did we become hypnotized to be taken away from the real intention of our creation? Because we are all born here for this time in humanity. This isn't the first time. In the influenza pandemic between 1918 and 1920, 50
Yeah.
million people died. This is
Yes.
not our rodeo, but nobody's going to tell you that, because they want you to know it's just going to get bigger, and it's going to keep bigger and keep bigger, and want to keep people keep praying. It's going to
Yes.
get bigger, it's going to get bigger, it's going to get bigger. It's like, whoa, stop this train.
And how do
Whoa.
we? It's what I'm hearing is, we're responsible for making our own individual new agreements momentarily. We really are responsible for that. And there's a matrix that we've been kind of blindsided, that we have to be in this, and we have to be a part of it, and we have to act and behave and speak and have an attitude a certain way in order to be accepted, and then everything will be all right, and then you won't be in fear, because on some level you'll be safe somehow.
Right.
You'll be safe somehow. And yet that isn't, I believe that this isn't the truth. We've been fed a big story to keep us in this false sense of security. And I really love what you're saying about the news, because here in the UK it's the same. We might not have it, well, it is streamed. We have the BBC News, but when you turn it on, it's this tragedy, that tragedy. It's COVID, Afghanistan, and the weather.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It's
our
the
news.
three things.
Yeah.
Or the former president of the United States. It's sometimes 4 stories, and it's just over and over and over again.
Over and over.
So in wisdom, Laura, I mean, obviously we know there's COVID. Obviously we know it's real. Obviously we know a lot of people have, if you will, sacrificed their lives. It's been, that. That's not what's being stated. What's being stated is everything that you watch and you keep putting into your system, do it in smaller doses.
Yeah.
And don't forget that it's 10%, and I'm just throwing this out there, it's only 10% of what's really happening.
Yes.
Do you know, since 1900, did I say 1900?
Yes.
Since 1900, there have been 824 shark bites in Florida. Did you know, between the movie and between the media, the shark, being one of the most intelligent creatures, is the most sought after to be murdered, because it just bites people and it eats them and it kills them? Since 1900, 824 shark bites. How is that? Is insane.
Yes.
Because nobody tells you that. Because,
Yes.
we need to sell some more advertising. We're not getting enough clicks on Google Analytics or whatever, however they measure it. Let's throw out there a shark story. Oh, someone got their toe bit. Now, if it were me, I wouldn't be happy about it either. I get that. It's not that it doesn't warrant a conversation, but it's not a real conversation. It's not a common sense conversation, because the common sense conversation would be today, Mary Smith was in the water. They had said it's a shark area. She went anyway. She got bit. It's tragic. We're here for her. We love her. We see her getting better. But, oh, by the way, don't also forget that 364 days this year, there hasn't been anything, nor the previous 32 years in this area. You don't get that information. You get drama. And I call it, you've allowed breaking news to break you. And that's what it does.
because we're told out of context, aren't we? And we're not told the whole story. If we were told the whole story, it would all make sense, and it wouldn't have it would be in context of what's really going on.
But see, it's a perfect plan. My teacher
Yes.
knows more than me.
Yes.
My doctor knows more than me.
Yes.
My college professor knows more than me. And now the media tells me what to do.
Yes.
It's the perfect plan. And they can guide me in any direction because I am robotic now. I don't question. I don't go, why would I want to get that? Why is that important to me? What is that? The inner listening, which brings us back to, this is what a prayerful state is. Prayer isn't, oh, I want this to go away and make this go away and make this go away. Prayer is to allow me to step into the experience. Prayer is inviting me to step into the experience of whatever that is. We spend time going, how'd you get here? And you must be against me, and blah, 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 blah. But prayer says, what is going to draw out of you? And what event in your life that you're going to be more bold, more brighter, and more energetic in your life? And that's what it does. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, Laura, but I would invite those of you tuning in. And by the way, I bless you, and I feel grateful that you're giving us this time today, for sure. That being said, how many of you have ever read the obituary for Common Sense?
I love it.
It is so profound. We are so saddened today that we are here together for the loss of common sense.
Well, common sense isn't that common.
Common sense now joins wisdom and blah, blah, blah. It is hysterical. You owe it to yourself to read it. And that's been part of my mission as spiritual leadership. Is spirituality is not designed to replace just good common sense. Good common sense.
Yes, thank you for saying that, because it could be all too easy for us to lean in and into our spirituality and our spiritual practices, and then not make those decisions that really make sense for our lives. And
yeah.
I hear you. What you're saying is that prayer gives us that opportunity to listen, to use our common sense, and then to use the prayer to make an agreement with that.
Yes.
So that our lives become richer and fuller. Rather than the prayer, because we think it's some kind of magic wand and it's going to make a difference.
And we're not willing to do anything.
Yes.
I can pray every day of my life to be sober. And that's really sweet. However, at some point I have to not bring it up here. I'm fascinated that people all, they blame God or they're angry at God because they're alcoholic. I'm like, hello. You weren't born with IV. I mean, they really cut the cord when you were born, and you're than any other kind of cord there, since then. Give us a break, for sure. But it's prayer is it's so powerful, and it's if you look at it like prayer is P is who are you praying to, a power greater than you are. And people might even say, well, what do you mean? I don't know that I believe in that. Well, did you get up this morning and pump your heart? No. Did you get up this morning and have to remember, oh gosh, I got to go push my remote so I can breathe? No. Well, God bless you. You may not know it today. You might wait to the end of your life when you're checking out. Trust me, you're going to know either now and you can enjoy it, or at the end of your life, that there's a higher power. I have never sat in the 11th hour that somebody didn't go, whoa, there is a higher power. And that's your P for prayer. And your R is to be receptive to new according to who you are today. And the A is to accept what is yours to do in that. Accept what is yours to do with that. It's co-creating. So again, if you believe that we are co-creating, then there's a responsibility that comes with that, you know? And then the Y is you growing into, you know, instead of saying, I'm waiting on my dreams to come true, my dreams are waiting on me to come true. So what part of my thinking about old things needs to change? What part of, you know, it fascinates me when people say, I'm praying, you know, I want to get a new love in my life. Oh, good. That's so wonderful. What are you looking for? I don't know. I just know I don't want someone abusive. I don't want someone that drinks a lot and smokes. And they give a list of 50 things they don't want. What do you want? Because you're praying into this moment what you've already had so you can have more of that. So the universe is going, you know, you're confusing me. Thank you, Jamie. Good to see you.
Thank you, Jamie. Love to you.
You
Hi,
know,
Christine.
so
Christine is in Kenya.
Namaste.
Christine, beautiful. My sister in Kenya. She's a practitioner in Kenya, and it's great to be here with her. And we're with Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, who is the incredible spiritual leader at First Unity Spiritual Campus in Florida. I just feel so blessed that you're joining us here on the Cosmic Prayer on New Thought Media Network, Dr. Temple. With everything that you are saying, I want to watch over and over this video over and over again, because I know that there are layers in what you are speaking. There are layers here. So for anybody that's watching, I urge you to watch the replay of this a few times, because I know it's going to land in your heart, beyond your mind, in your heart, because that's what we're talking about, is what is the true essence of prayer. And Reverend Temple is an incredible teacher and leader in her own right, a speaker, an author, a minister, a way shower, a change maker. And I love that, because you are making change with what you're saying, with your words, and how your heart is, there we go, committed to creating a difference. Shamanic teacher and leader. And your program, I know you've got ENR to go on your prayer here, but that just kind of came through. I had to say that because I wanted to let people know how much we honor you here, being here today.
Thank you, Laura.
Really, it's such an amazing conversation about prayer and how we are part of the prayer, and we're making this agreement constantly, and we have to show up. We have to show up and be the prayer.
Absolutely. And thank you, Barb and Wayne.
Oh, Wayne. Barb,
Wayne, beautiful energy, and Barb Destiny, Barb Berger, and Yay Ocala with Jamie. So what a blessing. Laura, thank you for the gift today of just sharing, and thank you for this space that you've allowed me as well.
It's really an absolute honor for you to be here, and for us all to learn from you and to hear your words and your intention and the power of prayer, what prayer means for you. And I would really, really love it. Oh, here we go. Incredible spiritual leader. I'm so blessed.
Oh, that's Reverend Serena. She brought us together.
Serena brought us together. I love you, Serena. Reverend Serena.
She's all that. She's all that. She's better than peanut butter. She's all that.
And Serena, Reverend Serena was the first super guest here on the Cosmic Prayer over a year ago, and her work is absolutely tremendous. I know, with how she guides families and children to know the truth of who they are. So thank you, Serena. You're such a blessing.
Yes, and Jamie, and to answer your question, go to illy.org. You can access it from my website and check out, what we're doing. It's so affordable compared to other programs, because we wanted people all over the world to be a part of it and engage that. And this is the part of listening. It's like, you're not just signing up because something's advertised or promoted on Facebook. You're drawn to a certain experience. You're drawn. And if you say, this is where I want to be, then listen, pay attention. If you hear something, explore. If somebody gives you an idea, explore and pursue in your own understanding. I always say there's a difference between being certified. Certified is people have taught you what they know at the level that they know it. Dignified is when you grow into who you are and you represent your own values and your own ideals in your way. So
that is beautiful. Yes, because we're all learning, aren't we, to the degree that we are, and I think that's so true. Being certified feels like we're getting a seal of approval there. Dignified is like, okay, I'm giving myself my own seal of approval.
Yeah, I am. Well, bless you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Temple. Would you honor us by praying out right now? That would be amazing. Thank you.
We're calling forth the alignment of the truth of our being. We give thanks and we recognize the great spirits of all that are watching, all that are listening later, all that are experiencing and witnessing the idea of who they are. We call forth a new awakening within our hearts and our souls, that we give thanks that our mind and our intellect has brought us to where we are now. We now open to the heart calling forth the longing of the soul to be activated and to be realized. We hold mighty and true that we are not robotic. We are the visionaries of the eternal now, right here. We claim this space as we invoke beyond ordinary, but to a place of exceptional and extraordinary. And we allow this time to unfold in all of your lives, knowing the greatest thing you will understand, know, and trust is yourself. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here, and blessings to you and for anybody that's watching. And you're here right now, and we're just about to exit with Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes. Thank you so much for being here. This is New Thought Media Network, and I'm Laura, and this is the Cosmic Prayer. And until next time, love and blessings and peace in your heart, wherever you are on this amazing planet. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Cosmic Prayer, your weekly shift with Laura Topper on the New Thought Media Network. If you've enjoyed this programming, please tell a friend and join us again next week for Cosmic Prayer, your weekly shift with Laura Topper.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience, or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes, or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.